It began with a wedding, a celebration meant for gods. Eris, the goddess of discord, uninvited and enraged, tossed a golden apple. A simple inscription to the fairest sparked a vanity-fueled feud. Aphrodite, Hera and Athena each coveted the prize. Zeus, wise but wary, refused to choose. Instead, the judgment fell to Paris, a prince of Troy. His reward? The love of the most beautiful woman in the world, Helen of Sparta. Their love was a flame that ignited a war that would consume Troy. 1,000 Greek ships set sail, carrying vengeance and the wrath of slighted gods. The Trojan War had begun. Gap 3S. The shores of Troy trembled under the weight of Greek warriors. The clash of swords and shields echoed across the beach, a symphony of chaos and valor. Waves of soldiers crashed against each other, driven by the fury of gods and men. On one side, the Greeks, relentless and numerous, led by seasoned generals like Agamemnon and Menelaus. On the other, the Trojans, valiant defenders of their homeland, commanded by noble Hector. Gap 2SS. The sands turned crimson as the battle raged on. Ajax, a towering figure, cut through enemy lines with unmatched ferocity, his laughter a chilling counterpoint to the screams of the fallen. Diomedes, favored by Athena, moved like a whirlwind, his spear finding its mark with deadly precision. The air was thick with the scent of salt and blood, the cries of the wounded mingling with the roars of victorious warriors. Gap 2S, yet amidst the chaos, moments of heroism shone through. Patroclus, donning Achilles' armor, rallied the Greek forces, his bravery a beacon of hope. On the Trojan side, Aeneas, son of Aphrodite, fought with divine strength, his eyes burning with determination to protect his city. Gap 2S. The battle for the beach of Troy was a brutal prelude, a taste of the epic struggle that lay ahead. It was a testament to the unyielding spirit of warriors, a bloody canvas painted with the strokes of destiny. As the sun set, casting a golden hue over the battlefield, both sides knew this was just the beginning. The war was far from over, and the sands of Troy would witness many more such days of glory and despair. Achilles, the Greeks' greatest warrior, born of a sea nymph and dipped in the river Styx, he was nearly invincible. Only his heel, where his mother held him, remained vulnerable, a brutal, beautiful weapon forged by gods. He thirsted for glory, his name destined for eternal songs. But even the greatest heroes are not immune to pride. A dispute with Agamemnon, the Greek leader, over a woman, Briseis, drove Achilles from the battlefield. He sulked in his tent, his rage a storm waiting to break. Paris, the prince of Troy, faced Menelaus, the king of Sparta, in a duel. The stakes were high as the outcome would determine the fate of Helen. The clash of their swords echoed across the battlefield, a testament to their determination and valor. Despite his best efforts, Paris was no match for Menelaus. But before the final blow could be struck, Aphrodite intervened, whisking Paris away to safety. The duel ended in a stalemate, leaving the war to rage on. Enraged by the death of his dear friend Patroclus, Achilles returned to the battlefield with a vengeance that shook the very foundations of the war. His fury was unmatched, his spear and sword an extension of his overwhelming grief and rage. He cut through the Trojan ranks with ease, his movements a blur of lethal precision and raw power. The gods themselves trembled at the sight of his wrath, for Achilles was no longer just a warrior. He was a force of nature, unstoppable and devastating. The Trojans could do little but retreat in the face of his onslaught, their spirits broken by the sheer ferocity of his attack. Achilles' rage was a storm, a relentless tide that swept away all in its path, leaving only destruction in its wake. Hector, the noble prince of Troy, faced Achilles in a duel to the death. The two warriors clashed with a ferocity that shook the very foundations of Troy. Despite his bravery, Hector was no match for Achilles. With a final devastating blow, Achilles struck Hector down. The death of Hector was a turning point in the war, a moment of profound tragedy and loss. The Trojans mourned their fallen hero, while the Greeks saw it as a pivotal victory. Hector's death marked the beginning of the end for Troy, a symbol of the war's relentless and unforgiving nature. His sacrifice and valor would be remembered for generations, echoing through the annals of history as a testament to the human spirit in the face of insurmountable odds. The Trojans mourned the loss of their greatest hero. Hector's body was returned to Troy, and a grand funeral was held in his honor. The city wept for their fallen prince, and the sorrow was palpable. The funeral of Hector was a moment of collective grief, a testament to the deep love and respect the Trojans had for their leader. As the pyre was lit and the flames began to rise, the people of Troy stood united in their mourning. The somber music of lyres and harps filled the air, mingling with the cries of the bereaved. Hector's sacrifice had not only been for Troy, but for the ideals of bravery and honor. His memory would serve as a beacon of hope and resilience, even in the darkest of times. The funeral was not just an end, but a powerful reminder of the enduring spirit of Troy. The Greeks, unable to breach the walls of Troy, devised a cunning plan. They built a massive wooden horse, hiding their best warriors inside. The rest of the Greek army pretended to sail away, leaving the horse as a supposed offering. The Trojans, believing they had won, brought the horse into their city. That night the Greek warriors emerged and opened the gates for the returning army. Troy fell, sacked and burned. The legend of the Trojan horse became a timeless tale of cunning and deception. As the Trojans celebrated their supposed victory, a sense of unease lingered in the air. The city was alive with revelry, but in the shadows, betrayal was brewing. Under the cover of night, the Greek warriors, hidden inside the wooden horse, emerged, their eyes gleaming with determination. Silently, they slipped through the sleeping city, making their way to the gates of Troy. Meanwhile, the Greek fleet, which had only pretended to sail away, returned under the cloak of darkness. The warriors inside the horse opened the gates, allowing the Greek army to pour in. The unsuspecting Trojans, caught off guard in their moment of triumph, faced a sudden and violent onslaught. The night was filled with chaos and terror as the Greeks exacted their vengeance. The city that had withstood a decade of siege fell in a matter of hours. The once mighty walls of Troy crumbled and the flames of destruction consumed the city. This night of betrayal marked the beginning of the end for Troy, sealing its fate and etching its downfall into the annals of history. The cunning of the Greeks and the tragic naivety of the Trojans would be remembered for centuries to come, a stark reminder of the thin line between victory and defeat. The aftermath of the Trojan War was devastating. The once great city of Troy lay in ruins, its people either killed or enslaved. The echoes of battle had faded, but the scars of war remained. Greek heroes faced trials upon returning home. Odysseus embarked on a perilous journey. His odyssey was fraught with monsters and gods. Agamemnon met a tragic fate. He was murdered upon his return. The war left a legacy of sorrow and heroism. Stories of Achilles' bravery and Hector's sacrifice and the fall of Troy were immortalized by Homer. The Trojan War's legacy lived on, a testament to human struggle.